Destiny. Today, our topic of discussion is low self-esteem. We know that low self-esteem is something that everyone deals with, be it male, female, child, everyone deals with it. We want to know, how is it that you're dealing with it? How is it that you overcame it? It is very important that you know who you are in Christ. So today, we just want to talk about low self-esteem. So, you ladies, Tonicia, I'm going to ask you first, Miss Nikki. Have you ever experienced low self-esteem at any point in your life? And I know sometimes there's a duration of it, sometimes it's a moment or a situation may occur that may make you feel that low self-esteem at that moment.
Of course, I think every person at some point in their life has experienced low self-esteem. I know mine mostly it came in isolated events. Started more so, I guess, middle school. Middle school, I got picked on a lot, which is funny. I got picked on because of my lips, because my lips were bigger, you know, than the other girls, and I guess thin lips were in back then. and I got picked on for my butt, because, you know, my butt has always been there. So, yeah, I used to get talked about. They used to call me fish lips and all this other stuff, and it just made me very self-conscious, very, like, you know, not feeling as if I was pretty because of what other people had to say. Growing up, it was easier because, you know, as you know, people are getting plastic surgery to get butt and lips now. So, you know, I got mine from God. Thank you very much. But it kind of started then and went on to different areas in my life, and it was mostly concerning with me personally, my body. That has been a major thing in my life through different points. Even, you know, when I was pregnant, after I had her, before I was pregnant, it's like it always comes back to my body with my self-esteem.
Okay. So how are you overcoming that, though, or overcame it?
I'm still in the process of overcoming it because certain things happen, and, you know, even now as an adult, certain things happen where it kind of takes you back to where you thought you had overcome it.
Right.
Now more so, I know that I have self-confidence through God. That makes it easier for me, you know, and I look at myself as if God created this. God put this here.
Right.
So if he put all this together, you know, it was for a reason, preferably my husband whenever I get him. So it's like, you know, I'm not as self-conscious about it, but there are certain things that come that make me think, okay, you know, it kind of takes you back to being 12 or takes you back to being 13, and it's like, okay, snap out of it, you're an adult. You know I'm a beautiful young lady, both inside and out. You know, I know my heart is right, my spirit is right. So when somebody is attacking me in that area, honestly, you're hating.
Right.
Don't hate.
Right.
You know, because I'm not doing anything to make you feel that way about me. Now, if I've done something, by all means, you know, let me know and we can work it out. But I've had a lot of females in general kind of look at me like, you think you're all that just by looking at me, and I've never said anything to them. Or they think I'm a certain way, they think I'm stuck up, they think I'm this, they think I'm that. Exactly, just by the way I look. And even with guys, they see certain things and they think I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and that's far from the truth.
Right.
You know, so it's an ongoing battle that I consistently have to reassure myself in my own mind about who I am and what I stand for, and not let the other stuff infiltrate my brain, get me to thinking.
Well, I would say that's a good start. And for all you ladies out there that need hater blockers, we'll send you some in the mail. Okay, I'm going to skip you, Miss LaDuana, and we're going to talk to Miss Annie today, one of our guests. And we just want to know, how have you dealt with, or if, first of all, if you've dealt with self-esteem, and if not, maybe someone that you know that may have been close to you, family member, and how you overcame it, or how you may even assisted them with overcoming it.
So generous. I've definitely struggled with self-esteem quite a bit. I would say I have felt all my life like I never fit in, because I always liked things that other people didn't quite like. That I don't know. I liked what I liked, you know.
Right.
But it was like it wasn't cool. So I grew up in the '60s, and being cool was very important, and fitting in, and doing drugs, and making, you know, I made a lot of bad choices so I could fit in.
Right.
And one of my bad choices was to have premarital sex at, you know, when I was a little girl, like 15, 16, and ended up, I did have an abortion, and that kind of ran the rest of my life until my 40s, when I finally, and I dealt with it. I kept trying to deal with it in a number of ways. A lot of ways my self-esteem manifested itself was through acting out. I would always be the person who would jump in the pool naked at the party, or
oh wow,
oh yeah, or get up and dance. I still dance. Everybody knows that. Yeah. That's one thing I can't seem to shut down. But being the loud person, being the funny person, saying the outrageous comment, and then finally one day, I just realized that I had to start doing things other than the way I was doing them, and it came with age. It came with hitting my head up against that brick wall over and over again. I still don't fit in. I still do things that amaze myself about, that I can do things. I just got insurance licenses that I never thought I could ever get. And that gave me some esteem, accomplishments. But I think what changed me was just realizing that my way wasn't working. And when I finally started to get an idea, hey, why don't you just try doing the opposite of what you would usually do? I don't know if anybody remembers that episode on Seinfeld when George starts doing the opposite of what he would otherwise do, and he starts getting jobs and girlfriends and all that stuff. It was kind of like that's what happened in my life. I just started saying, maybe the Lord wants me to step back. Maybe the Lord wants me to not be a leader and be a follower for a while. Maybe I just need to be quiet and thank God for something, become more thankful about my body. Now also, with age too, I'm 53 years old. You can, when you're young, you can not like your body. When you're 53, you're like, why didn't I like that? It's gone now. But it's, and that's honestly, I'm so thankful for what I have left that isn't gone yet, now at this point. And it's not to say that I'm disappointed in any way, but I just turned things around. I stepped back when I thought I should step up, and I became more of a listener than a talker, and I became more of a, I turned my TV set off. I stopped letting the world talk to me nonstop in my ears and in my head, and I said, you know what, I'm going to just block that out, and I'm going to see what else there is to hear.
Right, what God is saying. And I think that's important for a lot of us, that we learn to turn the television off. Because a lot of times people, they watch hours and hours of TV,
and
you may not even realize, that you may say, oh, I just like this show, but that show is saying something and speaking something into your life, into your spirit. Because if the people that you're watching are looking a certain way or they're acting a certain way, naturally you start to take that on, even as something as simple as fashion. I've always been the one that stood out from everybody. I didn't want to wear what everybody else had because I wanted to be different. If everybody had the new Nikes, I didn't want those because everybody else had them. And I just always stood out for that. So I think it's good, a changed mindset and taking those things away that were, making you feel that way about yourself.
But I wouldn't have realized it until I just realized I heard God whispering, in my ear, take a fast on the TV. And I'm like, oh, that's the one thing I really like to do. It's like, because I live alone. I don't have, I ended up not having a family. I had 2 husbands, but it didn't work out. And a lot of times I feel like a failure. I don't have any kids. I don't have any family. I don't have, my own personal family. I don't have family members that I'm in constant contact with. I don't really have I have friends, but I'm not really close. I had a lot of walls that I put up out of my pain, and the pain was deep, and it really pushed me along. It'll push you. You can make it, and for me, it's about choices. And I guess we were talking about how to get out of a situation, and it's just to start making better choices. And I don't know when I realized I could make that. I think I realized finally that I could make better choices when I realized I wasn't a victim. That I was the one making the choices. And I remember the day I figured that out. And I had prayed to God. I said, give me the information, God. I need information. And He just rained books on me and groups and people and all these other things. And the more I got into it, it took years and years. But now I know that I make the choices, I pay the consequences.
That's right. And we can't be our own worst enemy. Okay. Well, I love that. I love the fact that you recognize who you are and started doing those things that will take you and put you in a place that God wants you to be in. Right. And as far as family, we pulling you in.
And that's what I mean. I could even say right now, look at where I am. I know where I know when I'm in a good river, and I know when I'm in a bad river. And it's like I know it now. I can smell it. I can taste it. I can touch it. I can feel it. and I want to be in the good river, the river that's good for me and good for others around me.
Right.
And I don't get excitement out of just for excitement's sake anymore. It's a blessing, and I'm so glad that I lived, that I just got to a point in my life where I could realize it. Sometimes people get that point and they say, oh, if only I'd known this, 10, 20 years ago. Sometimes you say that, but then you just say, oh, I'm so glad I knew it instead of 10 years from now.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
That's
So,
good.
thank
That,
you.
what is it, glass half empty or half full? It's a great
Well,
way to
just don't
to look
regret.
at it.
Regret is foolish. It doesn't, God.
It doesn't change
regret
anything.
doesn't change anything. It
Right.
doesn't do anything for God. It doesn't change your life. It just makes it gets in that, and that's what I think is a vicious cycle.
Right.
And like Nikki was saying, it's just like one thing leads to another, and the next thing you're back in that wheel again. You're in a hamster wheel of low self-esteem.
Right.
Get out the hamster wheel. Go have some food. Go
That's
play
right.
in your chips or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So what about you, Miss LaDwayne?
I guess I could say that I dealt with what you had to deal with as far as my body. Growing up, my sister used to talk to me like I was nothing. And everything was, oh, you big butt dog, and you gap face dog, because I had a gap. And it was really big. It was like this big, like, and I hated it. So I had to deal with that. And then going to school, I would walk down the hallways and somebody would grab my butt or hit my butt. So then it got to a point where I would literally tie this gray jacket around my waist, and I would not take it off. Everywhere I went, I had a gray jacket wrapped around my waist. And I came home one day, and my daddy had threw it. My dad threw it in the trash, and I literally cried because that was the only jacket I had. And it's like, okay, what am I gonna wrap around my waist now? Nothing. So I basically had to learn how to deal with my, with my body. And basically, I think that my self-esteem became really low after a while because I used to feel like my dad pushed me to the side, like I wasn't loved, and I had to deal with that with my mom, being gone. So it's like, okay, this is my daddy, this is all I have. And after a while, it's like my dad would get with this person, and then it was like, oh, whatever. It's like he really didn't care what I did, where I went, who I was with, who I hung around. So basically, I started reaching out in other places, not even with just with guys, with, females too, is basically wanting them to embrace me as a friend. Right. So it's like I was always trying to be in somebody's face, it's like, oh, I'm here, somebody noticed me, because I felt like nobody noticed me, or I wasn't loved, or it was just like, she's here, and basically I have to tolerate it because she's here, and that's how I felt, my dad felt about me. I don't know, I think dealing with it, there are certain things that I still deal with as far as, even looks. Some days I get up and I feel like scum under the earth, under the bottom of the earth. But I don't know, I'm dealing with